everyone, I am Silver and we are back with Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. We just have to finish talking to the quartermaster and then go into the tents before going to talk to the queen, and we're good to go. We also have to finish looking around.
We march ahead.
Let's finish with the talk with Hargus Worm. Not Hargus Worm. Wilster Garms. Tell me about yourself. The quartermaster looks away sheepishly. There isn't much to tell, really. I was born in Canabras in a humble family. I got an education, taught myself to read and write, got drafted into the army, spent 3 years as a shield bearer, spent 3 years as a shield bearer in the first line. I left after I did my time and joined the stonemasons guild, then moved on to the shipwrights and rose to a crew chief. Sailed to Ioberia twice and returned with goods. Made some money, built a house, but haven't started a family yet. I think I will after we are done with this war. But a few years ago, something started gnawing at me. I got this feeling like I needed to go home, that there was a storm headed for my native city. And when there's trouble in Mendev, there's only one thing to do. You go to the recruiter and sign up for the army, and so I did. At first they wanted to make me an infantry sergeant, but then they decided I'd be a better fit in the supply department. I can take care of army property, and I'm pretty handy around the warehouse, not to mention I know how to manage a band of helpers. And so that's how I became a quartermaster. Wilster gives you a shy smile and shrugs, as if there was a wholly unremarkable story typical of any crusader. What are your duties in the camp? A little bit of everything. What's an officer to a soldier? A strict father. So what does this make a quartermaster like myself? Something like their mom, that's what. I make sure the lads have everything they need to defeat the enemy and come back from battle in one piece. Wilson started ticking off his fingers. That means food, firewood, medicine, tents, mended clothes, fixed weapons. The horses have got to be fed and watered. The camp's got to be fortified by the evening and broken up by the morning. I make sure the wages are paid on time and the wagon wheels don't squeak. And then there are reports. Gods, until you asked, I never realized how many duties I actually had. What do the soldiers think of their new? Nope. Your supplier would do any wine shop. Your supplier would do any wine shop proud. Does the crusade really need this much alcohol? Why would I? Let's just ask. Wilster smiles shyly. Don't think I'm trying to encourage drunkenness among our crusaders. It's all in good fun. A way to show off some steam. No, a way to blow off some steam. When soldiers can gather by the fire and raise a cup to honor both the living and the dead, it reminds them that life goes on. But those who drink to excess or to the detriment of their duties won't get a drop from me. There is no sight more depressing than a drunkard. What do the soldiers think of their new commander? They mostly tell tales about your unusual power, but they don't shy away from talking to you as a person too. Soldiers are always like that. If Iomade herself descended from heavens, you bet they jabber on about how she grips a sword and how good she looks in her armor. Word is, you spend more time in the wilderness than the cities. I wonder if that's because of our background, but because we're a ranger. Must be. Word is you spend more time in the wilderness than in cities, that you can read tracks on the ground better than any book, and tell the weather 3 days ahead by the shape of the clouds, and that means that following you into the wound isn't a scary thing to do. I have to go. Let's see. Hargus, do you have anything? Nope. The queen is expecting you, Knight Commander, so I shall not detain you. We can talk later after our sovereign departs. Let's see. Oh, there's Woodrow. Do you know what the queen does to people who keep her waiting? I don't, but I know better than to find out. Darren, Darren, what are you doing? Oh, you're trying to. That's funny. He's trying to leave. Ah, there you are, you dashing troublemaker, you. Darren flashes you a self-satisfied smile. Our short acquaintance is coming to an end. Very soon you will depart on your crusade, where you'll scrap by on horrible rations, struggle vainly to fall asleep among snoring soldiers, be rudely awoken by the freezing cold, and have to look upon the dire faces of self-righteous prigs, before you finally perish in the maw of some demon. I have a journey ahead of me too. I've just rented a sailboat in the south. I've also hired an excellent chef and a host of other entertainments. Well, to each their own, I suppose. Darren pauses, then suddenly adds in a more serious voice. You know, I am genuinely sad to see you go. If it sounds like mockery, forgive me. I cannot switch off my venom gland on a whim, you see, but you intrigue me. If only we could have spent a little more time together, but of course, Darren grimaces. Not under these conditions. Let the Crusaders and the demons have at each other. With any luck, they'll take this entire sanctimonious sanctimonious spectacle down with them. If you feel like you don't belong here, go. But I'd like to see you again someday in the future to get to know you better. You can throw a banquet for me to celebrate our victory in Dresden. What do you say? Victory in Dresden. Your optimism is so charming. Darren smirks, then seems to start slightly. He continues in a more even tone. Well, should you prove yourself lucky enough to survive by some miracle, come and find me. Perhaps I shall even remember you. No promises, though. In any case, I intend to wait until the army departs. I do love a good send-off, especially when it is I who is staying and someone else who is heading off to meet a dreary and hopeless end. Sometimes it does one good to ruminate on the unfairness of life. Well then, farewell, Commander. I assume I shall be your most precious memory on this most disgusting and exhausting road to the pointless slaughter of battle. Or, if not the most precious memory, then at least the most stirring. Darren smirks before instantly losing all interest in you, or at least he pretends. Alright, and now we can start going in tents. We have not Eric. Come on. I think this is Erebet's tent. Oh wait. There we go. Field medic, chapel, commanders. That's where we have the end. Terror Blaze. Which one is this? Nora. Can we talk to Ember now? Or still no? Nope. I've seen so many happy faces today. It's so good. Nora Dundewar's tent. This is Nora Dundewar's tent. It seems she bought a lot of unnecessary items along with her. And are you gonna say something about us taking? Already have this a few times. Without a... Did we read this already? Let's see. How many of that did we get? Without a doubt. Yeah, we read that because that's the only one we got just now. So, Hillar and the Secrets of the Needlegens. Book the second of the astonishing exploits of Venture Captain Hillar, published by the Pathfinder Society. We already know some things about him. We've read some things about him already and talked to him kind of. The skeptical ranger followed Hillar, who skirted the glade and cautiously surveyed the forest around them. If you're hoping to find someone here, Captain, you're wasting your time. The Needlegens are totally uninhabited. A wild animal might stray in these parts, but there are no people here. Tell me, began the Venture Captain, drawing out the words. What is the secret to this place? The whirlwind is a stone throws away, but the Needlegens look like an ordinary healthy forest. No bubbling mold on the ground, no trees that are identical down to the last leaf, no trace of demons whatsoever. The ranger answered after a long pause. I don't know for sure, Captain, but people have different theories. Some say that the Needlegens are cursed by forces that came to this world before the demons, horrible creatures that could addle your mind with a single look. People say that's why the demons avoid this place. They're afraid. Hitler scoffed. His guy's tale was surely nothing but a cock and bull story, but the idea of his quarry hiding at the very heart of a place thought to pose a dire threat to her. Well, he couldn't help being ticked by that. The spinner of nightmares trail led here, to this strange wood. There is no doubt about that. But how did she ever find the way here? Hiller fished his trackless monocle out from the depths of his pack, flipped it to his nose, looked up, and let out a full-bellied laugh. I can't fault the harridan for her ingenuity, but she might change up her nasty tricks knowing the arsenal I carry. Follow me. The ranger scoffed in disbelief. The forest remained as much a mystery to him as before, but Hiller's gaze, directed as it was through the eye of truth, effortlessly picked out the magical notches on the tree trunk, leading to a yet unbeknown destination. Okay. Interesting. We also nothing. Terribly tent. This is mine and Nevia's tent. We're both used to traveling, but the queen insisted our tent to be furnished like a commanding officer's. Oh, there's a few things, but first, this massive bed is clean and neatly made. Only commanding officers are allowed such luxury during marches. Are you gonna say something about us taking? Oh. I already have that. Sela. A +2 half plate grants its wearer a +2 constitution, +2 enchantment bonus to constitution. We're 24. Should bring us to 25. Yeah. I'm surprised she doesn't say anything about us taking. It was on, looked like a mannequin of some sort. And that is. We have two more. Yeah, that's where we have to end. Go ahead, Nini, you're talking to the storyteller.
Our path leads on.
Field medic.
Guide us.
This is the field hospital. Alas, the clerics of Canabras suffered especially heavy losses, so we're in desperate need of healers. Visibly Radimus, we are few, but the gods are with us. The prayers of good people around the world are with us. And Camelia's here? Alright. I already have some of those. Chapel tent. We outfitted this tent to be used as our chapel. Even the less pious crusaders will come here to say their prayers when the final battle is upon us. I've seen it happen in my previous campaigns. Altar of Torag, the father of creation, the dwarven god of craft and kin. Altar of Sarenrae, healing light, the goddess of the sun, healing and redemption. Altar of Desna, the great dreamer, the goddess of freedom, travel, luck, and dreams. Altar of Aristil, old Deadeye, the god of hunting, farming, and the quiet pastoral life. Altar of Iomade, the light of the sword, the goddess of justice and valor, and the patron of the crusaders. This place has been sanctified. It can protect the area around it from the corruption of the abyss. So there are the five main gods dealing with the crusades of the world in this area. I'm guessing we have no reason to go in there. Our god is nowhere up there. I think that's it. Yep, next is the oh, did we miss something? Yep. We missed flutes.
Without a doubt.
There we go. Oh, that's a good bit of gold. Into the commander's tent we go. Let's loot first. Half plate. Half of this we can. Oh, 530. Most of this is getting sold. What I think I actually want to do. Where's the claw? Used to have the claw of Jessica. The third. Oh, you can't even use this. And what's this? Oh yeah. Second or stunned. And Finian, you're great, but right now you're not helping. Not really. So we give this to you here. How much is Finian? Yeah. We have anything in the chest? Oh, we do. Oh, this is stuff we put in here already. Alrighty. Socio. Arabeth. Socio. It's good to meet you, Commander. Nora. Happy to help the cause, Commander. Leader Hawkblade. My respects, Commander. I hope you will be able to spare me some time after all the formalities. Queen Galfrey. Where is Anivia? The Queen greets you with a stare. She has dropped the pompous air with which she just announced the Fifth Crusade. The face of the ruler of Mendev appears calm and thoughtful. She has made her move and now awaits her opponent's reply.
Commander, I'm satisfied with the troop review, but I do not expect they will be sufficient for the task. You will have to prove yourself a shrewd leader and hire the necessary troops with the provided funds. I have chosen a target for your campaign, and that target is Dresden, our lost outpost within the World Wound. The Sword of Valor was kept there, a banner that was once carried by Iomade herself. Our greatest relic was lost when the city fell. I should make one thing clear from the start. The Sword of Valor is no mere symbol, but a powerful weapon against demons. The holiness of the banner weakens them and robs them of one of their most dangerous abilities, teleportation. A forced march to Dresden awaits you. The Sword of Valor is kept somewhere within the Citadel. The demons probably think it's a hunting trophy. Its recovery is just as important as retaking the city itself. I hope the task is clear. I'm sending 2 specialists to help you, along with the soldiers. A historian, Nura Denduar, and a cleric, Soziel Vainik.
The queen nods to the human man and the young halfling woman standing next to her.
One of the famous inquisitors of the Church of Iomedae also wants to talk to you. The Honorable Leota, whom everyone calls Hawkblade.
Leota.
I do not wish to keep you, Commander. The matter I must discuss with you is extremely important, but it is not directly related to the Crusade. You no doubt wish to meet your new comrades and speak with Her Majesty. Therefore, I shall leave you now, but I ask that you seek me out in the camp at your earliest convenience.
Hi! Listen, it's amazing here. It's like I'm in a ballad. There's knights in shining armor, deadly dangers, glorious feats. We are going to show those demons! I'm so tired of sitting in a library reading books about history. It's time I took part in it!
I'm glad to help our cause, Commander. If you have some time later, I'd like to speak with you further.
You'll have plenty of time to talk. You're the Knight Commander's people now, her trusted advisors and companions. Now then, will you please leave us? Irabeth, you can go too.
Huh. When we met at the Defender's Heart, I never imagined you'd make me the commander of the new crusade.
Some actions may be deemed bold, or even extreme, and beyond those, there are some you might call the Queen's last resort. I am not a simple monarch. I am at war with the Abyss, a war which has lasted over 100 years. I cannot allow myself the luxury of caution. In you, I see a chance, and I am willing to stake everything on it. However, you cannot blame me for putting you in charge of the crusade. I only formalized
Yes,
what had
okay.
already happened in the hearts and minds of many. People spoke of the power that descended upon you and helped you save the Wardstones from corruption and total destruction. Word of this feat quickly spread far beyond the borders of Mendev. There was no other person who could better fit the role of Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade.
Let's see her reply. Did you know about the souls of angels from heaven? Did you know that the souls of angels from heaven are confined in the Wardstone?
I had guessed as much. Many angels fought alongside us in the First Crusade. Heaven was unable to mobilize its full might to aid us, but individual celestials volunteered to fight for our cause. Then one day, they all vanished, saying that they were setting off on an important mission. Not long after, Iomedae's herald erected the first wardstone in Canopris, and then the others in cities across Mendev. Even back then, I had nagging doubts, but my faith in Iomedae easily assuaged them. It is for us to serve the goddess after all, not to question her works.
You serve her, not us.
In any case, I am glad you did not allow the demons to commit sacrilege and gain control over the wardstone in Canopris. We might have lost one of the wardstones, but the chain is still standing.
I wonder what happens if we destroy all of them, if we set everyone free. Do you remember this? Show the covenant of the inheritor.
I thought this relic was destroyed many years ago. How strange it is to see it whole
What
again.
just happened?
At one time, it gave me hope. I am pleased that this object will serve the crusade once more.
Queen Godfrey's hand twitches as if trying to reach for the relic on its own accord, but the queen stills its movement. You withstood a blow from Irulu Vorlesh in that battle.
I would proudly declare that to be true, and say that even Aurilu Vorlesh could not kill me on her first attempt. But to do so would be boasting. I was protected by my goddess, However, I was glad to see that, no matter how great the betrayer of humanity's power, it is nothing as compared to Iomede's might.
When did we have this vision? I had a vision of Iomade giving her a covenant to you.
I was young, and did not fully understand the magnitude of the duty that had been entrusted to me. Iomade gave me hope and strength to see me through the
Did we
trials
give this
ahead,
to someone?
and in so doing, she won my everlasting loyalty.
I think we did. Do you still remember the oath you swore in battle?
Always. No matter how arduous, no matter how dark the skies, no matter how much blood flows from my wounds, I shall stand with you. We shall fight for our loved ones and our friends, for the right to live and die free. We shall do everything we possibly can, and after that, we shall begin to do the impossible. And if the hour should come when our arms can no longer raise our swords, our bodies will become a shield to cover those who still have strength to fight. I, Golfrey, Queen of Mendev, swear this to you. This is my vow.
I really don't want to give this away, but please take this gift. The covenant of the inheritor should belong to you.
Let the Covenant's restoration into my hands be a good omen for this war. I thank you. I shall ask the priests to offer prayers for you, that Iomade may send you strength and fortitude in the coming battles.
And what are you going to do?
Overlooking a spot of insubordination just at the moment. However, I shall answer you. I shall prepare the defenses at Nerosian and all the other border cities and plan the future of the Fifth Crusade. Does that satisfy your curiosity, Knight Commander?
I really wish there was an option that would be like, you technically aren't our queen, or Iomade isn't our god, or our deity or something. Huh. Not down for the good option that much. But does the Church of Iomade really spend so much effort prolonging your life, Queen, just so you can watch the battle from the rear? You're the living banner. We're doing this because 1, we're chaotic. 2, you just made us commander and you're gonna sit in the back line? No. Does the Church of Iomade really spend so much effort prolonging your life, Queen, just so you can watch the battle from the rear? You're the living banner of the Crusades, and your duty is on the front lines.
It's been a long time since anyone tried to talk to me quite like that. Like an interrogator at a trial.
The Queen seems astonished but not outraged.
I don't know if you realize what you're suggesting. If our enemies in the depths of the wound were to discover that I was with your army, they would immediately send their most vicious demons to attack. They would stop at nothing to be rid of me, and thereby sow chaos across Mendev. But you are right. I shouldn't be sitting it out in the rear. I am a warrior queen, and a queen of warriors. Yet my fighters have forgotten what I look like. Fine. I shall join the crusade, but on my own terms. First, I shall assemble my entourage and lead the parade out of the camp. I shall catch up with you later, along with a few hand-picked bodyguards. We'll change our armor, and I'll become a knight of a minor order and join the troops incognito. Until we approach Dresden, no one should know I am among you. But before we storm the city, I shall show myself to the troops and join the battle. Let it be a surprise for the demons. I hope you won't complain of my company on the road, Commander, since you were the one who insisted upon it. Do you have any other questions?
I have some about the mission to retake Dresden.
Of course. I shall answer.
What forces are at my disposal?
Everyone we saw today at the parade. First among them, the Eagle Watch, who remain a powerful force thanks to Irabeth's resourcefulness. Also marching with you are several minor knightly orders, as the minor volunteer units like to be called. And finally, I have personally selected some recruits from Nerosian. They have little in the way of battle experience, but great determination and a thirst to prove themselves. I've always thought that an army benefits from at least one such unit. These forces, as I said, are not enough for a march on Dresden. You will have to hire additional troops with the funds that have been provided to you. But for a brave commander, and I hope you are one, that is just the beginning. If you retake Dresden, recover the holy power of the Sword of Valor, and gain a foothold in the region, then new armies will join under your banner. The Fifth Crusade is only beginning. Many battles and victories lie ahead.
It's been decades, and no one has managed to retake the city. Why do you think we're different?
We have a chance now that we haven't seen in decades. But it's more than that. You created this chance for us by foiling the demon's plans in Canabris. The army who attacked the city came straight from Dresden. Demon hordes from the Abyss are usually encamped there, but many of them perished on the streets of Canabris. We must attack swiftly before they can restore their forces. When the city is free and the Sword of Valor appears before our soldiers, they won't be sending in any more reinforcements. Demons cannot teleport into an area protected by the banner of the goddess.
How did the demons manage to conquer Dresden?
That's a good question. Its walls were built by dwarf craftsmen, and the power of the Sword of Valor protected the city. Alas, where raging hordes failed, a single lying tongue was all they needed to succeed. The demoness Minago convinced a young and ambitious crusader named Staunton Vane that the banner belonged on the battlefield. He went on a daring and unapproved raid, and the banner ended up in the enemy's hands. The city fell soon after. Ever since then, for 7 decades, it has served as a citadel for the forces of the Abyss.
I'm not saying that only because I want to have faith in Staunton, and I feel sorry for him because they treated him like crap in them 70 years. What about long-term goals? Do you know how to get rid of the World Wound forever?
Now you are talking like a real knight commander. However, answering your question is not easy. To win this war, we must bar the demon's way. There are a few planar rifts leading to the Abyss across the territory we call the World Wound. The best specialists we could find have tried to close them on separate occasions, with no success, as you may have guessed. The World Wound is more than just a chain of portals to the Abyss. We do not understand its nature yet. The methods of rift closure known to magical science simply do not work here. However, we have a hypothesis, and a rather well-grounded one, that we must begin at the source of the problem, the place where the World Wound was opened. The main rift lies through the city of Iz and the Threshold Fortress, deep in the former lands of Socorus. We have never managed to fight our way so far and gain a foothold to allow the Magus to explore the origins of the World Wound. So, the next step, after you succeed in Dresden, is an offensive push deeper into the World Wound, with the aim of reaching Threshold, the very threshold of the Abyss.
Are we gonna go into Iz? I have no more questions.
Wonderful.
You should know that I received an unusual gift in the caves beneath Canabris. In a vision, I saw the death of an angel called Lario. Somehow he was able to grant me the ability to reveal the light of heaven.
Lario. I knew him. He disappeared shortly before the World Wound grew, and Dresden fell into the enemy's hands. In the chaos, we had more important concerns than investigating the fate of a single angel. Even one so righteous and beloved as Lariel. And afterward, matters took a turn for the worse. The angels left us to go on their special mission. It is so strange to hear the names I used to hear when I was young, like getting a message from the past. It is sad news, but it brings me back to the times when we strongly believed in our victory, and we rushed headlong toward it without fear. Could it be that such times have come again?
The test is clear.
Splendid. Ah yes, We have one final matter to attend to. It should be rather enjoyable. Count, there you are.
Darren!
You received my instruction?
I did, though I did not have time to read the thing before I was dragged before your majesty. In truth, I was readying myself to depart.
You was?
No matter. I trust you will forgive your sovereign for the rather brusque summons, especially when you learn what prompted it. As you are aware, she has recently been appointed my Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade. I spent a long while pondering whom to appoint to the highly sensitive post of Commander's Field Attaché and Advisor Plenipotentiary without portfolio. Congratulations, Count.
It is a great honor, I suppose.
Darren's cool expression wavers, but he seems not to be fully cognizant of what is happening. That or he is holding himself tightly in check. I am chaotic, but we know he was ready to leave. I have no need of this advisor.
In that case, you may release the Count from his post as soon as I depart the camp. I imagine the public will be most disappointed. Why, news of the Count's appointment should have already reached the capital by now. And all of Mendev's aristocratic society will be waiting with bated breath to see how dear Darren fares. Should he return in disgrace, having been jettisoned by the commander on his very first day in post, well, it will undoubtedly be the scandal of the year.
Oh, there's bad blood between them.
Your largesse truly knows no bounds, dear cousin. I am most gratified by the honor you have shown me.
The Count offers a bow, either as a sign of respect or in order to hide his flushed face. Only the barest quaver can be heard in his voice.
Then let's get going. May Ayomade help us.
It's funny, but she did Darren wrong. Is this a Nevia? Alright. Who had the Socio? Is he supposed to be here? First. Who had the Socia, what do you have? You are a cleric. And one thing I do remember is that I did not care for his setup. He's a cleric of Shaylin, which is the goddess of art, beauty, love, music. Alright, let's start. Selective channeling, which is great. Let's see, wait. What is mythic channeling? Acolyte, persuasion and lore. Let's say he's a charisma caster. Is he? Wisdom. He can use her wisdom. He can use her wisdom instead of charisma for persuasion checks. So you're a wisdom person. Proficiencies, armor, extra channel. Channel positive energy. Are you just a basic cleric? Good luck domain. Divine fortune. Calling your deity to give you unnatural luck. Doesn't have much of, honestly, much of anything. It's cool that he doesn't have a mystic anything right now. Okay. Let's see where we can start. Reach weapon. I'm gonna say you're medium. And you cast spells, so I'd rather you have something that has a lower spell failure chance. That's 40. Is that the same? This gonna add, should bring the AC to 16. Yep. But this one, what's your dex? No dex. This should be the same. Nope. Bring it down, brought it down to 1. Do I? Yeah, I think that's fine. And we have something in the chest that he can technically use. Plus 7, 5 to 14, plus 8. Yep, that's good enough. We haven't talked to him yet. Anevia. Anevia speaks an inquisitive gaze over you. So, tell me straight, how'd that brawl at the Great Garrison end? I heard the rumors, of course. That's kind of my job, you know, to listen. You have no idea what cobblers the Crusades say about you. Some say that Iomade came to you and appointed you her herald. Others say that you died, and an honest-to-God angel is now leading the army disguised as you. Still, others say it was just an explosion at an alchemist lab, and I'm the one spreading rumors about your powers. I wish. But you know, you really have changed since the Great Garrison. It's hard to describe, but you've become kinda. Anevia waves her hand trying to find the word. More dangerous? Yeah, exactly. More dangerous. I have a gut instinct about these things. If I didn't, I'd already be dead. You're dangerous, Commander, and by Desna, I hope you'll be dangerous to our enemies and not to us or to yourself. You have anything else with this one? Nope. I have to go. Alright, you watch yourself now. We do a lot of stuff that we don't really need.
Forwards.
Arabeth? Oh, the golem is back. Commander, allow me to say something. Arabeth looks even more serious than usual. Before you, this wasn't a war. It was agony, drawn out over decades. No one believed in victory anymore. When the demons attacked the city, for some it was a relief. At least the end had come. They laid down their weapons and surrendered without a fight. I felt the same thing, but I somehow got through on stubbornness and the vague hope that if nobody found Nevia's body, she might by some miracle have survived, and that miracle was you. You returned my beloved to me when I nearly lost all hope of seeing her alive again. Then you went on a suicide mission to the Great Garrison and won the city back for us. You turned a defeat into a victory. I know it wasn't easy, but you make everything seem so effortless. You do everything just like that, she says with a snap of her fingers. The Queen believed in your powers too, but for me, there's just more proof of what I felt that day when I saw Nevia alive, standing next to you. You're the miracle we've been waiting for. You're the one who will finally put an end to this terrible war, and in spite of everything, deliver us the victory we so desperately need. With you, I'm sure this crusade will achieve what the others could not. I found a scabbard with your family name on it in the Great Garrison. Arabeth looks down. This scabbard holds the Solemn Hour, my family sword. My father once fought with it, and I took it when I left home to become a paladin. Alas, it was not stolen. I parted with my heirloom willingly to help someone dear to me. I never needed expensive healing, and having no other way to procure the money, I pawned my father's sword. I think he would have understood. I'm sure he would have given up everything to help the family. I hoped to redeem the silent hour eventually, but there was never enough money, and soon the sword disappeared from the pawn shop altogether. I have no idea who took it. Seems like I'll have to part with my father's sword forever. Is Anevia sick? You'll forgive me if I don't go into detail. It is a private matter. Suffice to say, everything is fine now. The treatment was costly, but it was worth it. I wonder what happened. I can see that you truly love her. A delicate blush appears on Arabeth's cheeks. She nods silently. Arabeth lovingly traces the name imprinted in silver on the scabbard's leather. My parents were loyal servants, yet it wasn't enough to earn them a title or a coat of arms. Still, however humble our name might be, it is worth something. I don't know if I ever see the Solemn Hour again, but at least I have his scabbard back. Thank you. It's hard to believe your origin is so humble. You deserve a noble title more than many who inherit them. Arabeth's cheeks blush a little. Thank you, Commander. It is an honor to hear that, especially from you. Every noble family begins somewhere. You must have heard the recent story from the Stolen Lands in the River Kingdoms. Just imagine coming from nowhere and making it all the way to a royal crown in just a few years. Yes, that is technically what happened in Kingmaker, with a few situations in between. Somehow, I wonder what would happen if I managed to distinguish myself somehow. But then I push away such unworthy, selfish thoughts, of course. We don't fight for rewards. The fate of the world is at stake, and yet, Arabeth's blush deepens and she falls silent. So it turns out that the Queen has her head of counterintelligence watching me. I wonder why. You think the Queen doesn't trust you? If that were true, she wouldn't have put you in charge of this army. My main task is to be your advisor until you gain enough experience as a commander. As for counterintelligence, Anevia and I are tasked with keeping an eye on your inner circle. But you're not under suspicion, Commander. You're under our protection. We need reinforcements. Can you get us more soldiers? Hear about the crowd. When we began to march on Dresden, we chose speed over numbers. If I order more volunteers to be recruited, they simply won't arrive in time. We could play mages to deliver the troops to the camp, except I doubt that any armor coffers could afford it. If you can spare 7,500 gold coins, I will see to our reinforcements. Perhaps later. I have to go. She says goodbye with a sharp bow. How much do we have anyway? We have enough, but I'll think about it. That's a lot. Ember! And more loot. Ember. Ember is bobbing her head and humming a tune. She grants you with a carefree, cheerful smile. Her wandering eyes linger on you for just a moment before darting off into the distance. How are you handling your new abilities? Abilities? The girl tilted her head to her shoulder. What are you talking about? Oh, the tricks you learned with the big gray house blew up. They're funny. Thanks for teaching them to me. The queen gave me the title of Knight Commander and put me in charge of an army. What do you think about that? The elf focuses her wandering gaze on your eyes, smiles, and shakes her head. Don't believe titles. All of us in the world are children of the street, barefoot, hungry, scared, a step away from death. Some imagine they're strong and rich like guys, but don't forget who you really are behind the title. I'm only going through this because I know there's a hidden check somewhere, but I don't know if it's a one-time thing. I have to go. So go. The elf watches you with a radiant smile as you leave.
We march ahead.
Who's next? Recruits. Plan. What do you think of what happened in the Great Garrison? Did you feel a change in yourself? It's hard not to notice when the demons start running away from you like a flock of frightened bats. Powers granted by Iomade to defeat demons. Lan raises his hand above his head and pensively scratches behind his single horn. Since I was a kid, I've taken whatever I've been given and used it as best as I can. Anything goes when you're trying to survive. It doesn't matter where your blessings come from. We can think about that when we're old, if we live that long. But you know, this time even I'm not so sure. A divine power that just appears out of nowhere, sooner or later we'll have to pay for it. I'd like to know what the price will be. That's a good way to think. That is true. That is the way out.
Our path leads on.
Jana Eldori and Curl and Ellen. I wonder when I'll see a real battle. Everything so far has just been a warm-up. The knight is so absorbed in reading the letter that he takes no notice of you or anything around you. He smiles and seems like he's about to kiss his paper. That must be from his beloved. What did Sela call us? The League of the Inspiring Cart? I wish we set up an official nightly order with that name. Sela.
Hello. So, what do you reckon about everything that's come crashing down on us? All the responsibility, command, this new power?
Sita looks anxious. She's holding her sword, but her movement seems nervous. The girl doesn't even notice you at first. But when she does, she smiles cheerlessly and stops what she's doing. I haven't figured it out yet. We'll see what happens next.
Watching and waiting is a good strategy. Probably. I'm still frightened by what happened in the Grey Garrison. Were we really chosen? By Iomade herself? You know, back when I was a snot-nosed kid who just started down the path to becoming a paladin, I imagined once or twice that I was going to do something heroic. The lights would shine down on me, the trumpets would sing, I'd hear the voice of the goddess, or at least her herald, you know? I'd be informed that I had been chosen for a great cause. But that's the point where my imagination always failed me. Somehow, it really happened. Without all the trumpets or the herald or even anyone explaining what I had to do. Though it's clear as day, my place is here, in this demon-ridden wound. Quite a lovely war going on, in fact. Endless, I hear. I'm gonna need some time to wrap my head around this. Spare me an hour and I'll crawl into some dark corner and whine about my hard lot. What can I tell you? I cry easily.
Thank you for speaking with me. Until next time. Sela smiles. See ya. Hargus worm. Oh, Amelia. So I guess I should stop saying it like that. She's not terrible. I just don't trust her. Greetings. The neat smile on Camillea's lips disappears so quickly you almost wonder if you imagined it. What do you think of the powers you received from me? Camellia shrugs nonchalantly. People of noble descent grows accustomed to ample opportunity. The pearls I received from you are useful, but I see no point in treating them with excessive piety. I have to go. We'll talk later. I won't keep you. The dawning smile on Camellia's face freezes and quickly dies away. Let's go to Healer next. Healer nods approvingly. You've earned the title of Commander. Canabra still stands thanks to you, but you'll have to be doubly on your guard. Your Eminence places a target on your back, and there are assassins about. Killing a high-ranking crusader will bring a demon far more prestige than killing a common soldier. Not long ago, I stymied a few of the Spinner of Nightmares' attempts on the lives of influential crusaders, so I know what I'm talking about. Which influential crusaders did you save from the Spinner of Nightmares? I've been hunting the Spinner of Nightmares for over a year. My agents, by the time I've created a proper network, reported to me that she returned to Nerosian. I immediately suspected that she was planning a great atrocity. By the time I learned all too well that the Spinner was a master of illusions and charms, that's why I never left the house without this. Hiller takes a monocle, something we've learned from what we've read, from his pocket and put it on carefully. This is the Eye of Truth. It allows me to see through illusions. My friend got it from the priest of Nethys. However, neither his monocle nor my network of angels were adequate to prevent the attacks, and we were nearly too late. The Spinner of Nightmares decided to strike at the Cruciform Cathedral. They had gathered to celebrate the victory of the First Crusade. It was a great holiday, and there were lavish ceremonies on the cathedral. An influential priest, Anthocletus, was in charge of the festivities. They were intending to crown him with a tiara, a symbol of his high status, but the sacred tiara had been replaced. The Spinner had obtained an Incutilus, a sentient and rather ominous cephalopod from the other end of the world. She raised it from an elver and trained it carefully, and she cast an illusion on it so that everyone would see it as a tiara. The moment its shell was placed on Anthoclitus' head, the cephalopod would release its tentacles and penetrate the piercer's skull. Its poison would seep into his brain, and it would seize control over Anthoclitus' dead body. Fortunately, we were able to stop this madness in time. I spotted the spinner of nightmares in the crowd, chased her down, and we ended up crossing swords on the roof of the cathedral. I nearly defeated her, but she fled upon a great stallion, which was able to run across the air as if it were on the ground. I was so close to catching her. She suffered a setback, but I let her escape. Hiller's bitter and angry words shown he hasn't made peace with his failure. Tell me about your confrontations with the Spinner of Nightmares. It's a long story. Telling you everything will take 2 days. What parts do you want to know? Tell me about how it all began. We know this. We know some that his daughter was kidnapped. It all began with the task of the Pathfinder Society. I arrived in Erosian with my team to investigate the sudden death of a famous crusader, Baron Farron. What a name. We soon focused in on a small hospital for the wealthy, while Farron was being treated shortly before his death. It turned out that a gang of Baphomet's cultists, calling themselves the Lambert of the Mind, had gotten a foothold at the hospital. They were obsessed with twisting the minds of their victims and targeted fragile people too weak to resist. The hospital was filled with perfect victims, isolated for weeks from the outside world, completely helpless. And when they returned, they were different, almost normal. But the moment they heard a certain phrase, something dark awoke in their mind, and it transformed it to serve as a Baphomet, ready to lie, betray, and even kill. The Labyrinth of Mind was preparing to infiltrate all the elite circles in Mendev, but Baron Farron stopped them. We learned this already too. He was too loyal in the tavern. He was too loyal to his oath and too resilient to their spells. He fought for his freedom until the strain broke his heart. We opened and cleaned the city of Baphomet's pit of vipers. Their den was a cradle of sin and filth. They cast spells on each other, and their loathsome fantasies stepped real from their minds into the world. They dreamt of horrible and forbidden things, and they fought like mad. We burnt the place to the ground and slaughtered everyone we could, but the leaders of the cult were able to flee, and they were set upon revenge. They abducted my daughter Laurie, who served under my command in the Pathfinder Society. They left me a note full of tart insults, mockery, and sneers. From the note, I learned the name of my enemy, the Spinner of Nightmares. A few moments later, I confirmed that she was the leader of the Labyrinth of Minds. My hunt had begun. I would get Laurie back at any cost. Hillers grit his teeth with bulldog determination. Which influential crusaders did you save from the Spinner of Nightmares? We did this already. We'll talk about this later. I have to go. Good luck. He always says that.